This is Ingvar. I have a pair of very interesting games for you, which we'll play today in a youth tournament in Iceland. So I was attending this tournament as I could. Went to the opening ceremony, and then I looked at some games later in the day after I finished my work. And we're gonna have a look at, there were 2 rounds today, and we're gonna have a look at 2 games by the same player. So in the first round, we are gonna look at Aron Thor Mai from Iceland. He was playing against Baldursson Axelsson from the Faroe Islands. And Aron had the white pieces. He's rated considerably above his opponent. Aron is above 2000, while the young Faroe Islands player is rated just under 1600. And we had the Sicilian. And after a6, this is the Steinthor variation, bishop to g5. An aggressive option by Aron, e6, f4, and now knight c6. Not the most common option. One of the reasons for that is that white has a very tempting continuation here that white went for. He took on c6 and played e5. And now this pin can become a problem. If you take on e5, then my queen will capture on d8, and you have problems. So black correctly went for h6 here, questioning the bishop. The bishop has to move. If we take on f6, for instance, we can take on g5, and black is more than okay here because he will have a very strong black squared bishop. Black is better here. Let's go back. So the bishop goes to h4, and now g5. This is sort of a standard way in the Sicilian often to break this pin. White takes on g5, but this gives black time to break the pin with knight d5. And black uses the pin, reverses the pin kind of. You're pinning me? No, I'm pinning you! So the pawn on g5 is pinned. If black were to move, he takes on d5, he has a good position. So white played knight e4 here. Queen b6 by black, and c3. And at first I thought this looked kind of messy for black, and he might have messed up the opening. But then I looked up the database, and there are actually a number of games by Cuba's #1, Lenny Dominguez. He's a super grandmaster. I think I found 3 games. There was a game with Gelfand, Vasily Graf, and they all took on e5 here. And okay, the position is difficult to play for black, but it's dynamic. Instead, black didn't play a good move now. H takes g5. This makes things too easy for white. After bishop takes g5, d takes e5. White actually has a winning tactic here. Can you find it? Now mind you that nobody is telling you during the game that, oh hey, hello, it's white to move and win. Can you find it? But so it's easier, we should respect that. It's easier to find once I tell you that, okay, there is something in the position. You will look and you will probably find it, but let's give respect for finding it during the game. And Aron did exactly that. He played the winning move, which is, are you ready? 1 man, 1 move. Kaka! Queen takes d5. Very nice. Very nice. Now, seeing that taking the queen loses, black went for bishop e7. Let's see what happens if he takes. He takes d5. Now we play knight f6. And you see that the black king doesn't have much of a choice. He can go to d8 or e7. In both cases we play knight takes d5, and we're winning back the queen with tremendous interest because black can't win a piece back. Going back to the game, bishop e7 was played, and white simply moved back to d2. He's up a piece for virtually no compensation, and the game was only a few more moves. Queen c7, rook f8, rook h to f1, and after bishop d3, black simply resigned. There's not much to do here. The threat is, for instance, to take on f7, and then bring a pin here on g6. So rightfully black resigned. That was a nice tactic, but with this being a double round, things got tougher in the second round of the day, as Aron had to play against Dimitris Tokranovs from Latvia. Now Aron had the black pieces, and he played knight c6, and he's obviously following recent tournaments, because he played just like Magnus Carlsen did in the World Rapid and Blitz with the knight c6 and d6 idea, sort of a delayed perk defense. We see bishop to e3 from Tokranovs, and the opening looked relatively okay for black, but in my opinion, after queenside castles by white, it seems that it's slightly more easier to play for white. I mean, he has an easy plan here of h4, h5 in the future, and exchanging the black squared bishops, sort of like a dragon, if you know, dragon in the Sicilian, sort of like those types of attacks, but black doesn't seem to be as far ahead on the queen side as he would be in a dragon. So rook e8 was played, now h4, going along with his plan, a6, and we saw exchanges on c6 and h5. And probably black has to take up a gauntlet here, take on h5 with his knight, and make white proof and show him what's going on. Instead, he went for a counterplay with queen b8, but it seems a little slow. White took on g6 and prepared to double on the h file with rook h3. Queen b4 by black, a3, queen a5. And black's attack just seems too slow here. The rooks were doubled, and now black really didn't like the look of things, and he attempted to evacuate with king f8. Evacuate! Get out of here! Get down! Get to the chopper! But it was too late. Bishop d4, and it's hard to even suggest a move for black. One important detail is that in any variation, when you play king to e7, white will play knight d5, and the queen is really badly placed on a5. So in actual fact, he found nothing better than to go back to g8. And now it's back on you. We're back in a diagram position, white to move and win. Can you find the clinical win for white here? A very nice tactic that you must have in your arsenal. Pause the video if you need. And white played, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Kaka! Kaka! Rook h8. Beautiful tactic. Stock standard for stronger players, but now it's stock standard for you. So you'll become a stronger player. Black must take this, and now rook takes. King g7 was not played, because queen h6 is made in 1. Black took on h8, but it doesn't matter. Bishop takes, queen h6 check, and then bishop takes f6. You can actually not switch the moves around, because if you take on f6 first, there is king h7, and things are not so rosy. So very important to play queen h6 first, as the Latvian did, and now bishop takes f6. And if you ever watched a Seirawan stream, yes, a Seirawan, he will tell you this was one of the first mating patterns that he learned. It's a very important one, and it sealed the deal in this game. A nice win, and you know, an up and down day for Aron. You know, he won with an excellent tactic, but then he got hit with another textbook one. So you know, that's how chess goes. It's up and down, but you know, at the end of the day, we enjoy it all. So life goes on. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.